Good morning, children. Today we are going to study the next topic, what changed after October. Children, as I told you, Lenin led the October Revolution along with Leon Trotsky. And Bolshevik supporters in the army, Soviets and factories, they all were mobilized for mass struggle. Finally, Lenin rose to power and set up a Bolshevik government in Soviet Russia. Now today's topic is what changed after October. So you all know it very well, children, that Bolsheviks were totally opposing to the private property. As a result, industries and banks, they were nationalized. This meant that the government now had the ownership and management. Land was declared social property and peasants were allowed to seize the land of nobility. In cities also, Bolsheviks enforced the partition of large houses according to the family requirements. Use of the old titles of aristocracy, that was totally banned. New uniforms for the army and officials, that was also designed. At the same time, the Bolshevik Party was also renamed as Russian Communist Party. Now, these Bolsheviks, they also made a peace treaty with the Germany and withdrew Russia from the First World War. In the later years, Bolsheviks became the only party to participate in the elections to the All-Russian Congress of Soviet, which later on became the Parliament of your Russia. Trade unions were kept under the party control and secret police called as Cheka. This was punishing to those who were criticizing the Bolsheviks. Now the next heading which we are having here, that is the Civil War. Now children, as I told you that the Bolsheviks, they had already taken the control of your USSR, or that is the control of your Russia. At the same time, the success of the Russian Revolution and the rising popularity of the Bolsheviks, it has certainly disturbed to your West. Now the old allied partners of Russia, such as your Britain, France and even the USA, they all were against of Russia's withdrawal from the First World War, and they wanted to end the Soviet rule. Now in the country also, within the Russia also, non-Bolshevik socialists, liberals and supporters of the aristocracy, they all condemned the Bolsheviks uprising. They had been outwitted by the Bolsheviks. The leaders of the above supporters, they all moved to the South Russia and they organized troops to fight the Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks were popularly known as the Reds. Now later on, during the period of 1918 to 1919, now the socialist revolutionaries, who were basically known as Green, and the pro-Tsarists, they were known as White. They controlled most of the Russian Empire, and they were also backed or supported by the French, Americans and British, and also along with that Japanese troops. The Bolshevik army had also become weak at this time because the soldiers of the peasant background, they all deserted as they went home for redistribution of land. So what happened? Now the Bolshevik still ultimately emerged as a winner in the Civil War. And how it was possible? It was possible only because of the cooperation of the non-Russian nationalities and the Muslim Zaydist. Later on, now this non-Russian nationalities, when they had supported the Bolsheviks, so they were getting, or they had to receive the political autonomy in Soviet Union. This is called as USSR, the state the Bolsheviks created from the Russian Empire in December 1922. And this way, finally, the Bolsheviks, they got a success in establishing a socialist society in your Russia. Thank you, children.